Let's talk a little bit about UProfit Trader. So I'm Lindsay Duff. I am the CEO at UProfit Trader. And here we have Monica. Monica is now one of our funded traders at UProfit Trader. So I wanted to just kind of go with Monica through her experience that she's had here so far. Tell us a little bit about your trading experience, maybe what you do for a living right now.
Okay. Well, like Lindsay said, I'm Monica Vargas. I am the Chief Trading Officer for Trade on Markets, and that's my part-time thing. My full-time thing, I'm a government worker as well. As far as trading goes, I started venturing into trading probably back in 2017, starting with Forex. And then I moved from Forex and I was like, okay, there's a lot of other things that I can learn here. And I moved to options. And the last thing that I did learn was futures. Mm-hmm. I thoroughly like futures. I have come to find that. I like futures and options, but futures, I like it for the lucrative ability that it offers there.
Yeah.
However, one of the things that any trader, when you're starting off with a little bit of capital, it's hard to capitalize on those moments due to margins and all that other stuff that's regulated into it. Mm-hmm. So over the years, I've just been, just kind of doing it as a hobby. And then this year, I kind of got a lot serious about it. And I started practicing. And I remembered after meeting you and you telling us that, hey, we have this program where we fund accounts. That was back probably in February of this year before the coronavirus.
Yeah.
and I kept it in the back of my head, like, okay, this is an opportunity that can be offered. I'm still practicing because if you don't, you know how futures can take you.
Yeah.
It takes you back to the past.
Yes.
So once, now that I've had this lull in time since March, due to the virus, I've been able to practice a lot, and I was getting better and better at the trading. So probably about a month ago, I said, what the heck? I'll go ahead and let me just sign up for it. And plus,
because you were primarily doing Forex before, right? You were doing Forex pretty hardcore before you went to futures, right?
Yes. So, and then, I just couldn't make any headway with Forex.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept moving. I was like, okay, there's some other things in the financial markets that you could learn. But UProfit Trader, it popped up again in my email, and I said, now is the time. I'm trading very well in the practice account. Let's see how this goes. And the rest is history, and I've had the best experience with UProfit Trader. So when I got funded, between the combine was great.
Was it hard for you to go through the testing that you needed to do? Did you find the testing pretty easy?
I found it pretty easy, pretty straightforward. The rules were there. This is what you need to do. When I did have questions, customer support were great about answering my questions. Awesome. It did not take 24 hours. They would answer my questions within an hour or two. Nice. And I was greatly appreciative of that. So, and it would be by multiple people. If one person was not on their shift, a next person would come in. I would get emails at 3:00 in the morning, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
They are on it.
People are still practicing and working on things, so we want to make sure that they've got everything they need,
Right. And I think within 15 days, I met all of the criteria to do it. And at that point, I think I was just kind of self-doubting myself, like, oh my God. And you got that DM from me, like, this is the hardest thing in the world. But it wasn't hard. Mentally, it was.
Yes.
But the actual
just remembering to breathe and say, right. I know what I'm doing. I've gotten this far. I can go all the way.
Right. And I'm the type of person who uses a paper account and feelings are treated like real accounts. So maybe that was helpful. Yeah. And maybe that was very helpful. But within 15 days, I finished. I got the congratulatory email and I screamed, and my husband came down. He was like, "What the heck is wrong with you?" I was like, "I passed." It was almost kind of like graduating from college.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Like I'm tearing up a little bit because that is the whole purpose in us even wanting to create something like this, is we wanted to be able to see people go from that point of just wondering if it's really a possibility, because sometimes getting those funds can be really tough, especially going through a pandemic. I mean, people are waiting on checks to come in and having to have a lot less income than they did before. So it becomes even tougher at this point.
Right. And I think the possibilities that this program affords, because of the pandemic that has happened, there has been a lot of what ifs, even in the government sector that I work in. You're just kind of like, okay, so what would happen to my income if something happens to my job?
Yeah.
And the foundation that this provides you with that. You can do away with the what ifs to, oh my God, I can use this to, if something happens to my job, I'm going to have this foundation, knowing how to trade, and having this money here is going to be so helpful that you can almost use this money like a bank, a foundation for the bank. So, and what we call it is kind of like infinite banking, where thank you for providing me the money. So now I can leverage your funds, and I have my goal of what I want to make. It's like, could I just make my paycheck per week? And I am finding I can make my paycheck per week. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. That's really awesome, because that gives a real sense of doability. I wanted to say hope, but even bit more than that, it's doability to actually be able to walk away from your job and to be able to take control of your time. And I mean, it really isn't a lot. I say it's not a lot to give up to be part of that. Because I believe you did the 75 Freedom account, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that really gives you the ability to be able to step out there and make decisions that are so hard for many people to make right now, like really searching for jobs. I mean, I just want to tell you a quick story. We have a guy in Colombia who had lost his job, and he is now he had actually won a subscription from somebody, and now he's making more than he made. Yeah. So he won a subscription to the 75 account and the 75 Freedom account. And now he's making more than he has ever made in his life. And he is like, it's so awesome. I've talked to him a couple of times, and just seeing that joy in his face and your face, knowing that, this is something that's helping people get to that next level in a time when money is a little bit hard to grab a hold of for some people. We're carving out a whole different path.
Right. And I did find out this week has probably, I've been trading live. I think I was funded live on the 21st of August. I started trading live on the 21st.
Okay.
So
Go for it, girl.
Yeah. I just jumped right in. But this week I have made more than I would have made in a month on my full-time job.
Nice.
And my full-time job. I did it within 3 days.
You've made more than you made in a month, you said, at your full-time job?
Yes. And if anyone is thinking about this and you're hesitant because of the monthly subscription cost, this pays for it within one trade. Trade. Yeah. One trade. So this week I was showing my husband, my husband, he's in the process of transitioning because he wants to focus more so on the trading aspect as well.
You're going to be a powerhouse. I love it.
Right. And but he, and my husband works 12 or 13 hours a day. So I was talking to him yesterday. And I was talking to him yesterday, and I had a meeting with Robin, and I was sitting on the call with Robin, but I was multitasking by trading as well. And I called him after the meeting, and I pulled up the stats, and I was like, babe, hey, I just made $675 in 1 second. He was like, what?
Wow. In 1 second?
In 1 second, he was like, what? I was like, yeah. I said, look, and I pulled up all the stats from the 21st to today. And we looked at the cumulative monies that's been made thus far. And I told him, I was like, look at the average time in market from the 21st to here and how much has been made. I've only been in the market for an average time of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you realize it would take 40 hours a week for 4 weeks for me to make this money?
It's insane, right? Like,
It
I try to stay in the market as little as possible for that reason. Make the money, get out, and then go enjoy the rest of your life, you know?
Right. And that's what I'm looking forward to thus far, because I've been a person who has always worked multiple jobs since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'll be 45 next year. I don't want to do that. I want to enjoy my kids. I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy the things that are for it without worrying about what can I do to make this money without working multiple jobs. And even at this point in my life, I'm working 4 jobs now.
Oh my Lord, woman.
Four. And the other 3 are easy.
You're gonna start carving those out of there. Boom.
Exactly. But I am finding that the possibilities are there. This market and the trading instrument and what you guys provide with UProfit Trader, it provides that life that you are looking for, or that you are so deserving of, without, sacrificing 40 hours a week, or without sacrificing time to think about, well, I can't do this with my kids because I have to work and I have to ask for time off.
Well, and you're having to build somebody else's dream in that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what my husband and we've been talking about. It's like, we've spent all these years, I want to say kind of wasted, working, but I guess better late than never, I guess.
What? I like to think of it like every step we take in the path creates who we are today. So those were necessary steps. They feel like wasted time, but it was really what you needed to get your mindset to where you are now, Right.
I'm a little slower.
Hey girl, I'm 43. I'm right there with you. Okay. So, it took me a while. I started to pull away from the I'm going to work for someone forever thought process. Probably about 37 was when I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. But it's built. It does take time to build with, learning how to take the trades and just creating your thought process around it, because you have to unlearn all that I need to be sitting here and work type thought process, instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I can come in, I can make my trades, then I can go do whatever I want to do with the rest of my life. And sometimes that what you want to do could be working something else that just gives you joy and passion,
Right. And going back to when I started learning futures, I learned futures back in October of 2018. Okay. And it was introduced or whatnot. And, the first trade that I made, January 2019, I put $1,000 into Ninja Trader. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And first trade I made, margin call for $500. Right. I was like, and I think it took 2 minutes for that $500 to go real quick. I was like, well, back to the drawing board.
I feel you. I've been there.
Right. And I started doing mini ES, and that was a godsend. So, and I just kept practicing, but it wasn't building as quickly as I would have liked for a 40-something-year-old. Yeah. And I had fallen out of love with ES because of that $500 loss. But mentally, I was like, let me get back in. But now that I've been I started just practicing with that, because I was like, okay, well, my goal is I'm going to make $150 a day. That's it. Yeah. $150. And I practice. And like I said, UProfit Trader came along, and I'm like, okay, we're about to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. This is going to be life. We're going to be able to sit on the beach, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's been a phenomenal experience thus far, and I'm only 4 weeks in.
That's so awesome. It's so awesome to hear the story of you being able to really take it to that next level. And, and speaking about spending time with your kids and working all these jobs, it also helps you to become, the role model that we know we want to be. Because like we teach our children that when we work hard like that, doing the 4 jobs, and because believe me, I've had multiple jobs too, I completely understand. It's like almost like we're allotting all of our time for everything else, and it's tough to bring that time when we're home to even not only bring our time home with our family, but just to be there mentally, because you're so exhausted. So that's one of the things that I've thought about going through this, is like I'm putting up a good role model for my children to teach them that there's a different way. There's a different way to do things.
And being that, and your kids and my kids, they're around that same millennial or whatever they're called age. Yeah. I know that they're not going to take the traditional route. There is no route that's going to be given to them that they're going to be like, I'm not sitting on a job for 40 hours a week. and I can see that in my 15-year-old right now, where she's like, work. At 15, I was working.
15-year-old too.
Right. At 15, I was working at Kroger, and I was working at Cato, which is a fashion store.
Well, not 15. I had 3 jobs. By 17, I had 3 jobs.
Right, so. And my daughter's looking at me like, I'm 15. I don't know about work. You're asking me to do what? So she's saying that, I can just create this stuff online and I'll be okay. So I do know that is the path that they're going to take, but and they do see me trading a lot. And my son, he will come in. He was like, so it's red. So that means the market is crap today. So he was like, did you sell? Like, yeah, I did. Good job. And he walks out. So I know, even though they might not listen, they are paying attention to what's been done. And hopefully they will see this foundation that's being done. And again, thankful for UProfit Trader for building this foundation that's going to be so beneficial, not only for myself, but for my kids as well. And in that way, it helps me build the generational wealth that I am looking for, not only for them, but for whatever grandkids and great-great-grandkids that I may have in the future. So I am forever grateful for that. Forever grateful.
I'm so glad that we crossed paths too. I mean, it's been a pleasure knowing you and watching you go through this process and watching you grow. So it's just, it's a wonderful experience, to be a part of this and to be able to see that glow on your face,
But I did tell my husband, I looked at it, I was like, I want a Tesla by my birthday, and this is going to make it possible.
Let's do it. Let's get you there. And now remember, if your husband ever needs a little bit of extra help coaching, you know where to
go. Yes. And going through your course as well has been great. It was great. And it provided some information that I was lacking from learning it in 2018 to what I have. And I was like, well, that's easy. That was simplified.
That's what I find for people who've already been trading. There's just some missing pieces. And because we go through and break down everything and just kind of say, hey, these are each piece that you need, then it tends to just kind of put that together pretty quickly for like someone who, like you, had been already trading and just were missing a few pieces. So I'm glad to hear that.
and I try to get into trades that I can't lose. And I'm not going for $1 million in a trade.
Right.
I am going for no more than probably $150 or $200. Well, my husband is trying to figure it out. He was like, because even with the trading and the discipline and sitting here knowing what my goals are, and I think that is actually helpful going into this, knowing what your goals are, what are you trying to get per day. I've been trading at 100%. So that is. Yeah, that is, I was like, wow. And again, I'm only trading ES, instrument that I did not like at first.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, okay, this is doable, $150 a day. I'm great. And it is working. It's working out for me. But I do know that losses are, they happen.
Right.
So I'm not really concerned
Let
about
me
the
tell
losses.
you and another one of my students, Lynn, like Lynn is actually working to get like no losses, right, whatsoever,
Hmm.
which I'm sure you've seen her charts in the group,
I
right?
have, yes.
Man, I love seeing y'all blow me out of the water. It makes me happy to see like that's how I want to trade, guys. Okay. That's how I intended it to go. But I let things get in the way. Oh, I let the small chart slow me down, whatever, those kind of things. But
Right, right. But I would say to your followers, viewers, or whatnot, if you are thinking this has been the best funding program, and I have researched a few.
awesome.
I have researched a few, and this one actually has the best criteria in place, um, the best outcomes for the trader that I have seen thus far. And I can't say anything more about how great it is, even within the short period of time. It has been awesome.
I tell you what, one of the things that I'm most proud of is the customer service, and you really told me how just wonderful it was, and you were always getting all your questions answered and all that. So it's a great feeling to know that we're able to take care of everyone. We're following through with what we set out to do, and we're able to see some amazing results from traders like yourself.
Right. So I am thankful. I am thankful that this opportunity exists. I am thankful, again, like you said, like we crossed paths and you introduced this to us. And I am thankful just for the participation overall in it.
Yeah.
So I would encourage anyone, because that is the hardest thing as a trader to have, is the funding. You have the knowledge, but you just don't have the funding to make it happen.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, do bits and pieces here to get it to where you need it to get to. And seeing that you offer it for the minis, that is great as well.
Yeah.
So
The micros, you mean?
yeah, the micro,
Yeah.
yes. So I just think this is a phenomenal program for anyone. Just it gives you an indication of where you are as a trader when you're doing the testing portion
Mhm.
of it, and it'll also help you in that discipline and mindset during that whole process as well, because the only person you're competing against is yourself. So at
Very
the
true.
end of the day, so this is kind of, when I sit here and I'm like, okay, I'm pulling up my funded account, I was like, okay, you have to challenge yourself to do X, Y, and Z. Let's go for it for today. And I mean, it is an exhilarating feeling to know that I met my goal.
Man, I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
It makes me so happy to just like see you happy,
My husband's happy. Thank you so much. And I really want to say that, again, like this foundation that is giving, it can fund other activities. It can fund
Yes.
your life. It can fund, if you're in investments, real estate or stocks, whatever. I'm going to use it to fund a Tesla. But
I have some plans for a beach house. I'm just going to say that. I know we're in hurricane season, but
But the possibilities exist. It's like infinite. You have those infinite possibilities when you're not worried about how to put the money into your account.
Yeah.
Infinite possibility. And the 80 to 20% is not too shabby either.
True, right? So, yeah, I mean, for as little as you have to invest in the whole thing, being able to take 80% of it out of there is a pretty good deal,
Right. So my goal is to double the funding account. We'll see how that
Get
goes.
it, girl. I'll be watching.
But I am appreciative of it. But I greatly appreciate it, and you as well.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that we were able to help you get to that next level so you can stop working all those jobs, get you and your husband both as a powerhouse, bringing in some money so you can show those kids. This is how it's really done, guys.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today, Monica. I appreciate you, and I am looking forward to, I'm grateful to be a part of your journey, and I'm looking forward to watching you grow.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Lindsay.
No problem. You have a great rest of your day, and I'm sure I will talk to you very soon.
All righty. You too.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.